Hi, we're the Copeland clan.
Hi, I'm Gage and I'm 13.
Hi, I'm Gavin and I'm 12.
Hi, I'm Garrison and I'm 15.
I'm Joy.
And I'm Chris.
No ages?
I spent that week praying, God, I don't know what you're doing and why you would call this unadventurous girl overseas. So Chris and I, for our anniversary, we give each other goals. And my goal for Chris, the couple of years ago, was you need to figure out what you want to be when you grow up. And so I asked him for the next year to spend some time in prayer about what God would want him to do.
I started praying through that year, and I felt like almost immediately God was saying missions, and I thought, that doesn't make any sense. We just bought a house, and Joy, I wasn't sure if she'd be on board with that. I was afraid of what her reaction would be if I told her that. After about 9 months of wrestling with God, I finally said, okay, God, if this is what you want for us, you better work on Joy's heart so that she's prepared for this. And then as luck would have it.
One day we were walking out of church, and I was just talking with Chris, and I said, hey, do you think we missed our calling? Maybe we should have been missionaries. And Chris just said, yes, let's go. And I went, what? And so I didn't talk to him about that after that because I'm not adventurous. And I spent the week praying, and God kept pushing, talk to Chris, talk to Chris, talk to Chris. And I was like, oh, fine. So at the end of the week, I talked with Chris, and he told me what God had been putting on his heart. And I was like, oh, man. Okay, well, we can wrestle with God, or we can just pick up and go where God calls us. And so
we started praying that God would reveal to us where we should go. We had 3 different conversations with different staff at World Venture, and we told them our background, my growing up Catholic, her growing up in an alcoholic family. And they said, gosh, you should consider Ireland. And we're like, Ireland? Are there missionaries in Ireland? What's going on in Ireland? And 3 different conversations, unrelated, and they all confirmed Ireland. And we were like, okay, God, then you must be trying to tell us something. And so we decided to do some research and meet the team, and God really confirmed for us that that's where He wanted us. And it was strange for me because I'm not a pastor. I'm not, we've done ministry before, both of us, but I'm a business guy, and I thought, okay, what's God going to do with me? And my master's degree is in leadership development, and so I thought, how is He going to use that on the field?
probably January of 2015 is when we really hit the ground running.
Yeah.
So about 2.5 years we've been raising support. That's been hard because God's plan isn't easy. God's plan isn't black and white. It's not, I'm going to tell you every step of the way. It's you trust me and trust me to lead you.
Even though it's a struggle, we've also seen really awesome things happen. We got a $10,000 anonymous gift once. We're like, where does that come from? And so we've seen God work, even when we're doing our best and it just doesn't seem to be going anywhere. God will say, here's some stuff for you. I think for me, it's like cherishing the time we have here and the growth that God wants us to go through before we get to the field, and really embracing what He wants us to learn here before we go, because it's easy to go, okay, this is our destination, this is where God wants us, and that's our end all. But then God's like, no, I'm taking you through a process. I mean, it is hard. You wake up and you go, God, are we ever going to get there? Like, what's going on?
There, and we're very open with our boys about how we're feeling that day, and our kids 9 out of 10 times will go, God has called us, so we need to remember that, Mom. God's called us. He'll get there. He'll get us there in His time.
So now when we hit difficulties, we go, okay, we know God can. We're just waiting for whether He will or not in this case. And that's how we get through our difficulties.
Yeah. This journey of ups and downs and twists and turns and joys and sorrows and frustrations where you just want to go, it's so worth it. It's worth it because God calls you. It is probably the greatest adventure ever. And coming from a non-adventurous person, I recommend it. And I would do it again. And I'd probably do it the same way, because this is how we learn and grow deeper and stronger in our faith.